The 10,000 steps target has been embedded in our culture for decades. But most people don't know where it came from. A Japanese marketing campaign from 1965, not a scientific study. Research published in JAMA in 2019 and 2022 has now produced the actual data on steps and longevity. The findings are more nuanced, and for most people, more achievable than 10,000. But the dose-response relationship with mortality is real and remarkable. A 2022 JAMA Neurology study tracking over 78,000 adults found that mortality risk declined steeply with increasing step count up to approximately 9,000 steps per day, then plateaued. More interestingly, the minimum meaningful benefit started at just 2,300 steps per day. Walking is one of the most research-validated longevity interventions available. In this video, we are going to see exactly how much to walk, when, and why the mechanism matters. The walking and longevity research base is now strong. 2 major JAMA studies have tracked tens of thousands of adults and mapped the step mortality relationship with large enough sample sizes to be definitive. The Tudor-Locke guidelines paper formally established research-based step targets by population category. And the diabetes care study documented what sitting does to metabolism even when people exercise, making the walking throughout day question more nuanced. The 10,000 steps target is not wrong, but it's also not the research optimal number for everyone. Studies show the mortality risk reduction continues steeply from 2,000 to 9,000 steps, then the curve flattens. Getting from 0 to 4,000 steps is a much larger mortality benefit than going from 9,000 to 10,000. The research optimal target for most people is 7,000 to 9,000 steps, below the cultural expectation but strongly evidence-supported. The most underappreciated walking finding is what happens when you exercise intensely but sit all day the rest of the time. Research published in Diabetes Care shows that prolonged sitting independently raises inflammatory markers and insulin resistance, even in people who meet exercise guidelines. This means a 1-hour gym session followed by 8 hours of sitting doesn't fully neutralize the metabolic damage of that sitting. Distribution of movement throughout the day matters alongside total volume. Most people either walk too little and don't exercise, or they exercise hard but remain largely sedentary between sessions. Neither extreme optimizes longevity outcomes. The research model that produces the best results combines structured exercise with distributed walking throughout the day, breaking up sitting with short walks every 30 to 60 minutes in addition to daily step count goals. Activity distribution is as important as total volume. The 2022 JAMA Neurology study is among the most comprehensive walking longevity investigations to date. Over 78,000 adults wore accelerometers for 7 days, and researchers tracked mortality over multiple years. The findings: mortality risk declined 46 to 49% between the least active group and the most active group. Critically, the sharpest risk reduction occurred between 2,300 and 9,000 steps per day, establishing this as the meaningful intervention range. For fat burning specifically, the research shows that low to moderate intensity walking, where your body primarily uses fat as fuel, produces meaningful fat oxidation when sustained over 30 to 60 minutes. Walking at a brisk pace of 3 to 4 miles per hour puts most people in the fat-burning zone. Research shows a 60-minute daily walk can burn between 200 and 350 calories from fat, adding up to 2 to 3 pounds of. Walking's benefits extend across multiple health domains, not just mortality and fat loss. Research shows consistent walking reduces blood pressure, improves insulin sensitivity, lowers resting cortisol, reduces depressive symptoms, and slows cognitive decline with age. These effects are documented at walking volumes well below 10,000 steps, which is why increasing daily walking from very low to moderate levels produces dramatic multisystem benefits. Step cadence, walking speed, matters separately from total step count. Research shows that higher cadence walking, even for shorter periods, produces cardiovascular benefits beyond what total steps alone predict. Walking faster activates more muscle fibers, produces a higher heart rate response, and burns more calories per minute. Mixing moderate and brisk walking within a daily routine captures both the fat oxidation benefits of sustained walking and the cardiovascular benefits of higher intensity. The walking optimization framework has 3 components: daily step baseline, distribution throughout the day, and strategic cadence variation. The baseline goal is 7,000 to 9,000 steps, the evidence-based sweet spot. Distribution means breaking sitting with short walks every 45 to 60 minutes rather than accumulating all steps in one long session. And cadence variation means mixing brisk walking segments into your daily walking to capture both fat oxidation and cardiovascular benefits. The timeline for walking benefits is faster than most lifestyle interventions. Blood pressure and blood sugar improvements appear within 1 to 2 weeks of consistent daily walking. Measurable changes in body composition, particularly visceral fat, occur within 4 to 8 weeks of sustained daily brisk walking. And the long-term mortality reduction operates cumulatively. Each year of consistent adequate walking compounds the protective effect. Here is the practical daily walking protocol. Set a daily step baseline of 7,000 to 9,000 steps using a wearable or phone pedometer. Include at least 15 to 20 minutes of brisk walking at a pace where you can talk but are slightly breathless. Break any sitting periods over 1 hour with a 5-minute walk. And aim for consistency over intensity. 7 days of 7,000 steps beats 3 days of 15,000 steps with 4 sedentary. The timing and context of walking can be optimized for specific goals. If your primary goal is fat burning, morning fasted walking for 30 to 60 minutes uses stored fat as primary fuel and does not raise insulin. If your goal is stress and cortisol management, nature walks, even shorter ones, produce larger cortisol reductions than urban walking. Walking is underrated because it's not glamorous. It doesn't require gym, equipment, or a recovery day. But the research on its longevity impact is as strong as almost any intervention in medicine. 7,000 to 9,000 steps daily reduces mortality risk by up to 49%. Breaking sitting with short walks throughout the day prevents metabolic damage that exercise alone doesn't fix. It's one of the most accessible and well-validated longevity tools you have. Walking is free. It requires no subscription, no equipment, and no recovery days. The research on its mortality benefit is among the strongest in lifestyle medicine. The target is simpler than you've been told. Just move more, consistently, and break up the sitting. Research shows this pattern is more consistent across populations than previously understood. Studies find these effects are measurable and reproducible across independent research groups.